sure somebody's in chat. I don't know how this thing works. If you're watching, can you hear me? This is my first live, so I don't know how the chat works. What's my chat? Revenue card you can see I'm seeing the campfire. Some ambient light from the fire, and we've got a pretty decent moon, but it's overcast skies. I'm getting some noises, some crackling and stuff like that. Thank you. It is a nice fire. Couldn't wait to get back to camp and make one. I'm in Central Florida. I'm in State Park, Highlands Hammock State Park in Sebring. I came out because they had 2 Class A sightings around Thanksgiving, but I was already with the team, and we were elsewhere when it would have been nice because we were out that weekend, and if I had known about it, I would have come here that weekend with the guys, but I had to wait and come out this weekend. And I camp every Christmas. It's kind of like my thing, so wait till y'all, I'm gonna post a video tomorrow from tonight's events. It's gonna be a short video. The mosquitoes were really, really bad, but man, did I get creeped out. I found this one area in the woods, and it was creepy. It was creepy. I mean, it looked like a tunnel where the trees had kind of the trailhead make a tunnel, and the moss hung down over it, and it looked like a skull and a mouth. And I was like, no, I am not going in that direction. Nope. And then at that point, some little critter was literally inches from me, and it ran into the bushes, and that spooked me. And I was like, yeah, that's a sign. I'm gonna I'm gonna exit this area since I'm by myself. So it's crazy. But I'm getting a lot of movement in the woods around me. I'm hearing branches break and stuff like that. I wish about a quarter mile behind me, I got this county road. I've never camped on this side. In the past, I camped on the other side, about a mile and a half that way. And if you've ever seen the podcast where I was interviewed, and I talk about 2 incidences where something came into the camp, and that's where that was. And I had camped on that side because there had been a Class A sighting in the past, and I had some really, really strange stuff happen over there. And that's the swamp side. If you watch my videos, that's the swamp side. A lot of swamp. This is more of a drier side, pine forests and stuff like that. So, Dogman, I don't ever want to think that there's a dogman out here, to be honest with you. I've never heard any sightings of dogman in Florida. Most of the people I talk to and the other researchers in the state, I haven't heard them mentioning it. But I can honestly tell you that I want to pretend that does not exist at all. I'm having enough on my plate with going out every weekend looking for this thing, and now adding that on my plate, no thank you. You can have that, but Oregon's nice. That's where you're from. Oregon? Yeah. It's one of the places on my bucket list I would love to go to Oregon. I would love to go up there. Yeah, Bigfoot and skunk ape are the same thing. I don't care what people say. They may be some differences due to um, the ecology of each area. Um, the skunk ape tends to be smaller, 6 to 7 feet, thinner, um, a little more aggressive. They say aggressive. I really don't. They never really define it. What people are dealing with elsewhere, that's where the skunk ape is more aggressive, because everything I've heard, the same thing happens where they're at. So I'm not sure. Sorry guys, dropped my gimbal. um, Mount Hood, yeah, that's one of the areas I've read about, and there's been a lot of sightings in different areas. I would like to go to that Ape Canyon. I would really like that. But there's another, I think it's Oregon, maybe you've heard of it, called, what was it called? The Headless Valley or something like that. Um, it goes way back, way back. Um, but they had found, it had something to do with, they found a bunch of people that were dead, and they were all had their heads removed. But it's called the Headless Valley. I want to remember right. The it was on a documentary I read about um, Greg. God, what was his name? Greg something. He was a protege of Ivan Sanderson. He was the original cryptozoologist. He's before the four great guys you hear about. He was before Patty was filmed. This guy was already going out there looking for creatures that people have mentioned that they had saw, and him and this other guy, I forget his name, it's Greg something, but anyways, he was his protege, and he would finance Greg to go to these locations and report back to him his findings and stuff like that. But nothing was off limits to them. It wasn't just hairy men or whatever, because it was, I got his book in. I got to read it, because they wouldn't call it. I don't think they call it a Bigfoot, because um, it was Bigfoot was a term that came out in the '60s. Like people calling flying saucers. They were UFOs, but somebody made it look like a saucer, so it became flying saucers, and that's how Bigfoot got his nickname. It was just, he has a big foot, so we started calling him Bigfoot. So he predates that. Yeah, it was, I want to say it was early 1950s, 1952, but I could be wrong. So, but I wanted to get out here. So, and then last year I was here on Christmas weekend. It was 29 degrees. So right now it's probably upper 50s maybe, so it's pretty comfortable. I don't need a jacket or anything. I feel pretty comfortable with the fire and everything. So, but being on here, I went live. Carrie Arnold was a good friend of mine, and I got lucky enough to go out in the field with him a few times. And he used to always say, if you go live, he used to say it, when he went live, he didn't feel alone, and he felt better and more comfortable being out in the woods and stuff like that. So it does help. So I got 2 people in chat. This is the first live I've ever done. I'm happy. I'm stoked. God bless you guys. You guys are awesome. I'm glad that you're here to keep me company for a little bit. I did run thermal earlier. I didn't see anything. I'll run it again tomorrow night and see if I see anything. The thermal's really hard in the state of Florida, because all the ambient heat, these trees, the bushes, everything soaks up this heat. So really, thermal isn't the best until about 2-3 o'clock in the morning, when everything really cools down a lot. I just thought it would really work out great tonight, because the temperatures have been so good lately. I mean, we've There's a couple days in the 40s, but we've mostly been in the 50s, and the high has only been like 72 every day. And I think tomorrow it's only in the mid 70s. So I figured with the cooler temps, um, the thermal would work out better. But you know, if you guys got any questions, go on and throw it at me. Like I said, it's the first time I've ever been live. You know, I've done live podcasts and been interviewed, but it's different. One, you're in your home, and two, it's a discussion. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of fun. Yeah, sounded like some knocking, but I'm not sure. It was like pop, 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 pop. It's so hard. I'm hoping I get some vocals. That'd be nice. Um, I will be setting out a audio recorder all night, just in case. Um, that's probably the only thing I'll run. I won't. I don't have trail cams or anything like that. I don't think they work too well. Yeah, yeah. The worst part, I've literally been ran out of the woods by bugs. The mosquitoes would get so bad. Um, I'd leave. I did one day. I was documenting out in the swampy area here, and I got up early in the morning. I was at the restaurant at 6 a.m. to eat breakfast. I was in the woods by 7, and by 8 I was already hiking out because the bugs were so bad, so bad. Yeah, yellow flies are really bad. The thing is with a yellow fly is those things don't give up. They'll stick with you and walk with you and fly around your head for a mile. You know, you have to kill them. That's it. You got to let them land on you and kill them. That's the only way to stop them. It's not like a mosquito where you can brush them away and stuff like that. Or if you walk, you're fine as long as you're moving. Not a yellow fly. No, sir. That's a ninja right there, dude. That is a ninja. He will jack you up. And they bite. They bite hard. Yep. It's so dark you can't even see the tent behind me. And I mean, literally, it's, you know, 5, 6 feet behind me. Yeah, I try to limit. Um, Still hear something moving. It's on the other side of these palmettos. Um, I try not to put a lot of chemicals on me and stuff like that because you never know in the future what's wrong with you. And um, so I have one of those leafy suits that's really lightweight. It's like, see-through material, but it has leafies on it, and it keeps the bugs off me and stuff to prevent having to put too much on. Tonight I sprayed some bug spray on my hands because holding the equipment and stuff like that, and I was holding the thermal and stuff like that, so I had the camera in one hand, the thermal in the other, so I couldn't swap my face, I couldn't do anything, and they were tearing me up. So yeah, yep. It's because you picture like cows when they're swatting that tail constantly to keep the flies off of them. Deer ticks. I couldn't be a deer, man. Deer. I used to be an avid deer hunter until I had an encounter back in 2005, and it scared me so bad I didn't go back in the woods for 16, 17 years. And but I remember when I used to hunt and we would skin a deer out. As you're skinning the deer, you were getting ticks all over you. Ticks are bad, and that was back when I hunted. I don't I think in the last 2 years I've got one tick on me. One of our guys, Jimmy, he doesn't like ticks at all. He does not like that. And lucky for him, he's got a wife that can check him over before he goes to bed at night. Um, I don't. I won't find it until that sucker's either walking on me and I feel it, or it's bloated already from all the blood. you know. So, but I think that's why pigs and stuff, they waddle in the mud, and I think maybe Sasquatch does too. I think that has a lot to do with his smell, um, to an extent. You know. Well, the bad thing about ticks, is you can get some pretty bad diseases, and there's been researchers that have gotten Lyme disease and it really jacked them up because they spend so much time in the woods, and that's one of my fears is, I don't want to get out here and be bitten by mosquitoes and get encephalitis, or I don't want to get bit by ticks and get Lyme disease and stuff like that, um, because I've seen what it does. It really, really messes them up. People are, and it's a long road to recovery with Lyme disease. Long road. I know people that have fought it for a couple of years. And before they started feeling better. So. I don't know if you watch the Sasquatch Encounter Brigade. If you do, I recommend it. Johnny Two Bears, um, and Captain Joe and Lloyd, and I haven't met any of the other guys, but I know those three. Um, they when we went out and did an expedition together, Johnny had some stuff that was like pure potent. I mean, he was not playing. He sprayed his body down with that. He was not playing. He was not going to have bugs crawling on him. So I don't know what it was, but it was. He said it was pretty powerful stuff. Yeah, Dan. Yeah, I wish you were here too, because I was doing a night walk. I haven't posted a video of that yet. It was pretty scary, dude. It was pretty scary. Uh, I'm more of a daytime guy, man. I'm more of a daytime guy. I'm one of those ones that if I'm, especially when we go to this other location, it's 90,000 acres, and when we go out there, we're far. I mean, we are way in there, barely any service, and if something happens to you, you're in a lot of trouble. You know. Um, so when we're out there, I prefer at nighttime, even though we did do some nighttime stuff with Sasquatch Encounter Brigade and Bigfoot Forest Giants. We went out there and we did stuff at night. I'm not a big fan of it because, you know, it's easy to get hurt. It's easy to walk up on something that you don't see. And I'd rather be at camp and try to lure um, the skunk ape in to watch us or whatever, and then hopefully we can catch it on thermal or something like that. I'm not big on tromping through the woods and stepping on a rattlesnake, a gator, a hog, or something like that. Florida's got a lot of things that can seriously hurt you. You know, we've got like 5 different venomous snakes. We've got panthers, bear, hogs. I mean, let alone bugs. I mean, we got bugs that hurt you. We got black widows and all sorts of stuff, man. It's not a fair fight out in the woods. There's a lot of things. You're outnumbered. So, I mean, it helps to have night vision and thermal. It really does, but it's not perfect. It's not perfect. I'm not hearing anything anymore. I was hearing stuff behind me by my truck. Yeah, there's a big hedgerow of palmettos there, and I want to use it as a barrier. So, you still there, Richard? Dan? Somebody ask me a question. Hey, Richard. Glad you're there, buddy. That's Richard's. We gotta stick together, man. I'm a Richard too. You know, I didn't know if you knew that or not. The Bigfoot Forest Giants is myself and Jimmy Barr, Bobby White, and Mike Velez. Hopefully, um, hopefully. What did you miss? What did you miss? Come on, Johnny. I just promoted you, man. I'm convincing the 5 people on my very first live that they should check out Sasquatch Encounter Brigade. Um, Mostly so you can tell them what kind of bug spray you were using to keep all the bugs off you. You know. I don't have snake boots. I got snake gaiters. The reason why I wear those is because I can take them off easily without having to take my shoes off. You know, they just buckle on my legs. Um, um, if I'm tromping through the woods with the snake boots, at some point I'm going to want to take them off and change shoes or something like that. But with the gaiters, you just wrap them around, latch them. Oh, I got some campers going by. That makes me feel a little bit better. But 98% DEET. That's some powerful stuff right there, man. And it wasn't no joke. It wasn't a joke. I sprayed it on my face and my hands. I think that's all I sprayed it on, and I didn't get jacked with. Not at all. Not at all. I'll show you guys the fire. Let me see. How does this work? Nice little fire going, and that's helping keep the bugs away. Yeah, they are good shows. Sasquatch Theory and Small Town Monsters. They're very, very intuitive. I've learned a lot from them and stuff like that. Pretty much a lot of the shows I follow are really good, but I learn a lot from the people that I surround myself with, and Johnny Two Bears being one, and watching how he does things and stuff like that. And that's the great thing about him is he's breaking the norm. He's trying different things, and that's always interesting. Always interesting. I still didn't watch your thing tonight, Johnny, because I got creeped out big time, dude. Big time. Wait till you see this video. It was just a tree, but it was a creepy ass tree, man. Creepy. It looked like a giant skull. It just with a mouth open. It was just how the tree was, and all the Spanish moss hanging down. Yeah, man, that was spooky. I was not going any further down that trail. Yeah, it might have been old stuff, but it worked. You know. You know. I think something just fell out of the tree behind me. It's a nice area, but when I got out here, I think there was 2 campers about 400 yards that way, and that was it. And there was big distance between me and them. And then I went and started doing stuff and doing this and this, and I went to this one area to do stuff and check things out, check some trails out. When I came back, all of a sudden there's like a half a dozen more campers out here. So, I mean, it makes me feel a little more comfortable that I'm not out here completely alone. So if I scream, maybe somebody will come. But I mean, we're not on top of each other. They're just riding down this clay road that comes by my campsite. So, what did I do in the Navy, Richard? I started out as a quartermaster. I was a navigator. That's what a quartermaster is in the Navy. And I was on the bridge. I was the guy plotting courses and stuff like that. Give me 1 second. No, it's got to be a plane. That's real low, though. I don't know. I thought I saw my very first orb, but I think it might be a plane on the horizon, and I'm seeing it go through the trees. So anyhow, I was a quartermaster, and then a slot opened up for a search and rescue swimmer on board the ship. So being from Florida and stuff like that, I swim like a fish. So I took the test and passed. So they sent me to San Diego, and I went through search and rescue. I don't know what that is. I'm going to turn the camera out, see if you guys can see it. I don't know if, can you see it way out there? It looks like it's going up and down, but I can't really tell. See it? And that's forced over there. I don't know what that is. It's way out there though. Way out there. Could y'all see that? It's like it's going across and then it's doing this. So I don't know what that was. That was really weird. But anyways, so I went to San Diego, passed search and rescue school, went back to my same command, and so I was a quartermaster, and then in parentheses it would say SAR. I was not a search and rescue diver, I was a search and rescue swimmer. Big difference in the two. But we would do stuff like rescue down pilots, or man overboard. If we did maneuvers where the ship shot a torpedo and they were practice torpedoes, we'd have to go out there, get in the water, latch onto it so they can hoist it back onto the ship to reuse later and stuff like that. It wasn't until the first Gulf that we were utilized anything other than that, and that was mostly it was mostly flying in for medevacs and stuff like that. I had one incident where I did get the humanitarian award from the Navy, because long story short, we saved refugees. There was 100 and something refugees coming out of Vietnam on this boat. We were actually on our way to the Persian Gulf. And long story short, it's a great story. I just don't know if y'all want to hear the whole story. But it was very interesting. We had to square off with a Russian ship. But anyways, I was the search and rescue swimmer on that deployment, and it was pretty exciting. And but after my time was up, I chose to get out. Sometimes I regret it, but I got out because I was stubborn. It was prideful. I wanted specific orders, thought I earned them, thought I deserved them, and I wasn't getting them. And long story short, I decided, well, I'll just be a civilian. They were forcing me to come back to the United States. The whole time I was in, I was forward deployed. I wanted to stay forward deployed. I didn't want to come back. I wanted to stay in Japan or anywhere in the Westpac. I wanted to stay. And they said I spent too long overseas. I needed to go back to the States. I said, well, if I'm going to go back to the States, then I want a destroyer or a frigate out of Mayport, Florida. So if I'm going back to the States, I'm going back to Florida and see my family and stuff, since I hadn't seen my family in 6 years. And they kept wanting me to go to a carrier in California, and that's like the complete opposite of what I was asking. And finally we got in an argument and over the phone, and because back then we didn't have internet or anything like that, it was over the phone. And my detailer, who you go through for orders, he says, well, you really don't have a choice. And I said, well, I do have a choice. I can get out. So I didn't re-enlist and came home. But I had an opportunity to go subs, and that would have bumped me up a rank. Um, but I'm just not going down on anything long, black, and full of semen. Just not doing it. So I'm a surface warfare guy. So you guys are helping me out a lot. I feel a lot more comfortable. A lot more comfortable. Before I was really antsy. I mean, I had a lot of stuff going on. It quietened down, but I was having, you know, twigs breaking and stuff like that. There was some movement, definitely some movement, and I was getting creeped out. So yeah, I enjoyed the Navy. I really did. I liked being out at sea. Um, I enjoyed my first 24 months. I saw 13 countries in 24 months. So we were haze, gray, and underway. I mean, we were gone all the time, and we hit every one of these places, and we stayed no less than 3 days, no more than 10 days. So I got to see a lot of places. Anything, all the way from. I've been to California and Alaska, but on the Westpac, let's say, from Japan all the way to Africa, I've pretty much hit everything. So Australia, Kenya, Mombasa, just everywhere. You know, um, you hit a lot of places when you go to the Persian Gulf. But I spent the worst part of it. I spent a year straight out at sea. A year. We had done a 6-month tour in the Persian Gulf, and then on the way back, there ended up being a coup attempt in the Philippines or something like that. Something going on. So that held us up, and then something happened to another ship that was going to the Gulf or was leaving the Gulf, and we had to go replace it. So we ended up doing all of our stuff in the Philippines and then heading right back to the Persian Gulf. So I couldn't do anything 8 years in California, dude. I don't know how you did it. I can't. I was there a couple times in San Diego, and then I was at Treasure Island when I was processing, and I hated both those locations, dude. Hated it, you know. I did not like California whatsoever. So it is really nice out, though. Really nice out. Yeah. But Johnny Two Bears, he was in the Marine Corps. He was in the Marines. That's dope. I'm actually a twin. I have an identical twin brother. He retired in the Marine Corps. Um, I don't think any other guys on my team were in the military. Um, I know Jimmy tried when he was young. I've never spoke to Bobby about it. I don't know if he was ever in or not. But and then I don't think Mike Velez was ever in the military. Now Bobby. All of them are really into guns. I can tell you that. They probably all would have made great soldiers. They're really into guns, but I don't think any of them were in the military. But I don't like them anymore any less. They're great guys. So you know, like I said, if you get a chance, if you ever get to listen to the podcast with Sasquatch Encounter Brigade, I really want to meet Captain Joe one day in person. I like him. He's a good guy, and I know Johnny really respects him a lot, and the guy's a hero, dude. He lost a leg for our country. You know what I mean? That's more than I did. So I would love to meet Captain Joe and shake his hand and hang out with him. So yeah, it's a good show. They're good guys. it was a lot of fun to do the interview there. Just really good guys. They make you feel comfortable, and um, being out in the field with them. When we did a joint thing for a weekend, it was fun. I mean, I really liked those guys a lot. They were a lot of fun and full of knowledge, and they got some great gear. They got great gear, man. Don't let Johnny fool you. He's got some good stuff. I got his thermals and his night visions and stuff, man. Just is good stuff right there, dude. Good stuff. And he's constantly wanting to upgrade. He constantly wants more, you know. But he's got good stuff. He's got good gear, you know. Another good podcast is Woodwalkers. The guy that hosts that show, Spencer, really great guy, down to earth guy. Really, I just did a podcast with him, and he let me run my mouth for 2 hours, you know, and that was awesome. And he was Spencer's a great guy. I like him a lot. I like to call him a friend now. He's a real good guy. So that's a good podcast. I like that one. You know, back in the day it was Bigfoot Odyssey. I mean, I didn't miss a show. Yeah, I mean, if they had 3 shows a week, I watched all 3. You know, Carrie was my friend, and tried to show him support every chance I got, and I really miss him, you know. But it's because of him that I'm out here doing this, and I wouldn't have got to meet people like Jimmy and Mike and Bobby and Johnny and Lloyd and tons of different people. You know, Dan's a good guy, Dan Bazinka. I've met a lot of great people, you know, doing this field, getting into this field, and doing, you know, and facing the fears that I had 16 years ago with my encounter. And it's all, Kerry was really the seed. He was the seed. He was the one that made it happen. So I don't know the trail to Bigfoot. So never heard of it. Nah, man, you the man, Dan the man. See, you can't say that with Rick. It's Rick the dick. That's all I ever hear. But Dan the man. See, so you the man, you know. But well, we fluctuated. At one point I think I had 6 people on here. That's awesome. Who is ex-Army? And give me a second, guys. I'm gonna just heard a thump. Did y'all hear that? I don't know if y'all can hear as well as I can. Turn the camera around and give y'all guys a view of. I don't know if y'all can see. It's pretty dark. You know, that's that road back there. No, it's pretty dark. But my perspective is this: the moon is really awesome. There we go. So if y'all watched the video I put out earlier today when I first got to the camp, I'll give you a little inside information on that video. I had a hell of a time getting my tent up. Hell of a time. The tent is literally supposed to take a minute. That's what it's advertised. It takes a minute. And if I did not hit fast, I did the video putting up the tent in fast forward, you know, but if I had not, it was 20 minutes to get that tent up. It just, for some reason, the poles wouldn't extend, and I have no idea what the issue was, but it's a 13 by 9 tent, 6.5 feet tall, and it's supposed to lift up in the middle and set up in a minute. by one person. Dude, I was having a hell of a time. It took me 20 minutes to put that sucker together. I was having a heck of a time. But fast forward, it only took me 2 minutes. You know, only 2 minutes. But it was a quick video. I think the whole video was like 20 minutes long. It was mostly the trip into the camping area, going down the county road. Dan will recognize that road because that's where we went into the swamp area. And but all the way to the campsite, and then I set up the camp, and then I went through all the equipment and stuff that I'll be using this weekend. So yeah, the only problem with a truck camper is if I decide to drive somewhere and hike another area, everything's got to go with me, unless it's a camper that I'm towing. I have a tent. It's brand new in the box, never been opened, and it fits on the bed of the truck. And it fits on the bed of the truck, and I thought, man, that's awesome. I can use that. Never even took it out of the box. Never took it out of the box. It took so long for shipping, and I was going on a camp out. I just went ahead and bought a different tent, and ended up enjoying that tent, liking that tent. And so I never did. When the one came in the mail, it's still in the shipping box. So I'm thinking that I'm at, I think, somewhere close to 530 subscribers, and I'm thinking that if I can get to 1,000, I'll celebrate, and I'll just give that tent to somebody, you know, to find a way to draw names or something like that, and I'll give that tent away because I'm not going to use it. Now I've got this big tent, and I really enjoy it. So it's nice having a tent you can stand up in. You know, the other tent, even though I'm going to keep it, you have to lay on your back to put your freaking pants on, and that sucks. And when you're a fat guy like me, that's a pain in the butt. So I prefer to stand up and put my clothes on. But thought I heard a grunt behind my tent. Y'all let me know if y'all hear this stuff too now. I don't want to sound like I'm crazy. So if y'all hear something, tell me you heard it too. But that was weird. You're probably looking at my eyeballs, Dan. But I thought I saw an orb this morning. I tell you what I did see this morning. I had to go to work today. I didn't come out until after work. I got off at 2 this afternoon. And on the way to work today, a bear ran across the street. Literally came within 5 feet of the front of my truck. And it was the first time I'd ever had a bear run out in front of me. I've seen bear while I've been camping and while I've been hiking and stuff like that. I've had them, walk past me or walk across the trail in front of me. This is the first time I ever had one run out in front of me while I'm driving. It's 4 a.m. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. It's dark out. And I didn't see him until he was in my lane. So I got to pay better attention. But I really thought about it, because one of the first things people say when you tell them I saw Sasquatch is they'll say, "Are you sure it wasn't a bear? Are you sure it wasn't a bear?" And that irritates me. I'm trying to get where the fire, y'all can see me. I was so easy to distinguish that was a bear in front of me. It was very easy. People are not stupid. They know what a bear is. And so that kind of put it in perspective, that, eyewitnesses are not dumb. They're not dumb. So, I'm not going to ever ask somebody that question and say, well, do you think it was a bear? People know what a bear is. People aren't dumb. So, You'd be amazed. This moon, even though it's covered by the clouds, it's giving me some illumination where I can see the outlines of some stuff. I can see some outlines, but well, anybody know what time it is? When I'm on this thing, it doesn't show me the time. I have no idea what time it is. I want to feel like it's what, 9:30, maybe 10. I don't know. 7:41. East Coast, Eastern Standard Time. Can't be 7:41 Eastern Standard Time. Can it? Seems a whole lot darker. We get dark at 6:30 now. Is 7:41 really East Coast? It's only that early? Damn, feels later than that. But I've had a long day. I worked 8 hours and then I had to come out here and set up camp and stuff like that. I found a spot. That's where I was filming from. I'll put the video out tomorrow. I'm not gonna do it tonight. It was just after sunset and I was over there, and it was nice and dark. I was running a thermal and stuff like that. The Audubon Society built it's like a small little pavilion, you know. It has a little handicap ramp and then just this little pavilion, and it overlooks the entire forest right there. So I thought, well, that'd be a good spot to sit and relax and run the thermal and check things out and stuff like that. And you can see for quite a distance. So but I was out there for a little while, but the mosquitoes got really bad. So then I saw this trail area and I said, well, I'm gonna walk down this trail a little bit. And yeah, that did not go too well. That was very, very creepy. Very, very creepy. And I should have had my gun on me because I would have felt a little bit more comfortable. A little bit more comfortable. Do something here. Well, no, I better not. I know you guys can't see me too well. But at least it's quiet. Dark at 4:30. It's awfully early. I don't think it gets dark here till 5:30. I'm not sure. I know yesterday was the shortest day of the year, so whatever that means. I guess that means that's the shortest daylight hours, I guess. I don't know. Oh, you're in Delaware? Never been to Delaware. I've been to a lot of states, but not too much on the eastern side. I lived in Jacksonville, North Carolina for a while, about 8 years there. I had family in Georgia, you know. North Carolina is beautiful. I really like North Carolina a lot. And Georgia's nice too. That's where the Sasquatch Encounter Brigade's out of Georgia. You know, it's really nice there. I just don't like to live anywhere where it gets really cold. I don't do cold. I don't like cold. I can't live where it snows or anything like that. Couldn't do it. I've lived in Chicago 2 separate times. Each time lasted about a year, year and a half. Year the first time, and I think a year and a half the second time. And hated it both times. Jacksonville, Florida, or Jacksonville, North Carolina? Nah, Dan. I didn't expect a whole lot. I was, you know, because I knew I was getting here late in the afternoon, so I needed to set up camp before it got dark, and I needed to eat something. And like I said, I went to this one area and sat at this pavilion overlooking the forest, and I scanned for a while with thermal and stuff like that, but I didn't see anything. And then the mosquitoes got bad, so um, like I said, I tried that trail, and the trail, it might be something interesting during the day. I'll go back tomorrow and let everybody see it during the daytime. I might try it out, but um, it was definitely spooky at night. Definitely spooky at night. I did not like it. And then that critter, whatever it was, I don't know if it was a snake or a lizard or whatever, but it shot out from my foot and made all that ruckus going through the leaves, and it scared the living crap out of me. So I was like, no, I'm gonna exit. I'm out of here. So I came back to the camp, set up a fire. I did walk the perimeter and stuff, running my thermal and stuff to see everything out there, which I will do again before I go to bed. I will run thermal again to see if I see anything. Um, and that'll be it for tonight. I knew tonight was going to be a short night because I had to work all day. But tomorrow will be better. I'll get to do a lot of daytime stuff tomorrow. There's some trails I want to hit further back than I went the last couple of weeks, and try that out and check it out. Um, I'm playing it by ear, really, just playing it by ear. So yeah, Jacksonville, Florida. That is a huge city. I don't think people realize how big that city is, and I don't like driving through it when I leave the state. I don't like driving through it. That and Orlando, I don't like to drive through those. Um, the traffic is bad and everything. I think Jacksonville's traffic is better than Orlando's, but um, it's still rough to go through Jacksonville. So wish I had something to move this fire. Give me a second. See if I can stoke this fire a little bit. Oh, there we go. That's what she needed. There I am. Heck yeah. She just needed to be stoked a little bit. Yeah. Alright. That's crazy. Like you said, when I got here, there was... Alright, Richard, you take care, man. Thank you for being on here. God bless you, man. It's, like I said, it's the first time I've ever done a live. I usually just post my videos and that's it. This is the first time I've gone live, and thank you for being a part of it. I appreciate it. You know, you're definitely appreciated. Thank you. I don't know who's all in here. I can't see too much. I know Dan. It says 4 people, so I don't know who you are, but thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I feel a lot more comfortable out here by myself now, you know, knowing that there's... I'm glad you do. I appreciate it, Richard. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you subscribe, and I appreciate it. You're very appreciated. Thank you. And have a Merry Christmas, Richard. Merry Christmas. So, who else is on here? Anybody? Say hi. Because if you're not going to ask something, I'm going to run out of things to say. And I'll have to shut it down for a little bit. And I'm going to run some, like I said, I'm going to run some more thermal tonight. Especially scanning the open areas. There's a couple trails near that I want to, you know, just shoot down the trails so I can see if there's anything walking the trail or crossing the trail. So I'm going to do a little bit of that in a little bit. Like I said, I will be leaving audio out all night long in hopes that I catch some vocals. So that's a definite. I will definitely be doing that. And that's it. I have no idea what time I'm getting up in the morning. I think I'm just going to get up when I feel like it. And then I'm going to eat some breakfast and hit the trails. Try to get as much done as I can during the day. And, like I said, I could do more at night if I went by myself. But, you get out there and you get caught up and do something stupid, you can get hurt. And you have nobody to help you if you get hurt. And we have hogs out here and bear and panther and everything else, and that's the last thing I need to come across at night. So, and like I said, when I made a mistake when I left earlier. I didn't take a sidearm with me, and so if something were to attack me, I didn't have any way of protecting myself. So, but so, anybody got any questions? Anybody got anything they want to say or anything like that? Anybody? All right. Well, we've been on for about an hour, and I appreciate it. You guys have helped me get through the stressful time of coming off that trail. That was very spooky. That was crazy. So I feel a lot better now. Carrie always said if you go live, it'll make you feel better. So it did. All right, guys. I am going to get this fire going again, and I'm going to start doing some thermal, and maybe if it works out, I'll come back on live again tomorrow night. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I appreciate everybody that subscribes to the channel. I appreciate everybody that hits the like button. It just shows a lot of love, and I appreciate each and every one of them. So you guys take care. Have a Merry Christmas, and God bless each and every one of you. Okay? Any last questions? Anybody got anything they want to say? Throw it at me right now, because if not, I'm not going to hold my phone all night. So, anything? All right, guys. God bless you. Merry Christmas, and I will talk to you tomorrow.